Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on which side of the globe you find yourself when you are watching us from. It is that time of the month, and we, Global Leadership Group, have our two wonderful resource persons to come and speak to us on this topic called Leadership in Transition, adapting to new roles and challenges. Our aim is always to build capacity for leaders because we believe if the leadership is strong, has the required ability or required skill sets, then every organization or group, be it government, church, whichever, they will be able to lead them to arrive at the goal for which the group or that organization has been formed. So, without wasting time, I'll introduce our two great resource person in not particular order, aside from Dr. Victor Abbey. Dr. Victor Abbey is a strategic corporate leadership and change management consultant, mentor, public speaker, and author with in-depth knowledge, understanding, and experience in diverse corporate operational environments and perspectives, including security, supply chain, manufacturing, oil and gas industries, etc., spanning over 20 years. He is a distinguished veteran military leader and currently the chief servant and managing partner of V5 Solutions Limited and VF Global Consult, respectively. He is a revered professional. He's a professional with keen interest and focus in building the leadership capacity of businesses and individuals on the African continent. His works over the years have been largely aimed at promoting and creating the right environment for sustainable development and growth on the African continent through accountable governance and teamwork. Dr. Abbey holds a doctorate degree in business administration, a master's degree in applied business research, and certification in entrepreneurship and innovation from the SBS at Swiss Business School, Zurich, Switzerland, an executive MBA from the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, Ghana, and a degree in archaeology and philosophy from the University of Ghana, certificate in project management from the Ghana Institute of Management and Administration. Public Administration, yeah. Okay. He is also a recipient of the Business Executive Magazine's Leadership Award in Philanthropy and Hive African Global Leaders Award for Excellence 2020 2024. Dr. Abbey, you are welcome. And thank you very much for taking time out of your busy schedule to be with us. Thank you.
Thank you very much for having me. I'm grateful that I'm part of the panel tonight.
Yes, please. Thank you. Okay. All right. So, Dr. Abbey. Hello, Dr. Abbey.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. So, I'd like to find out from you about leadership transitions. So, leadership transitions often come with a mix of excitement and uncertainty. What was the biggest personal challenge you faced during a major leadership shift, and how did you navigate it, please?
All right, thank you very much. And once again, thanks for having me. My warm greetings to all our audience out there, wherever you are. Please accept my compliment from one corner in Accra to all of us. It's
Yeah.
so exciting to always have a discourse on leadership. When it comes to leadership, I think I always believe, and in my practice and in my experience, I've always come to conclude one thing, that leadership is the foundation of everything that we do around our businesses, around our families, around our religious activities. Everything is about leadership. So it is very important that every now and then the discourse is focused much on leadership. So much so that when we get leadership right, every other thing is expected to fall in place. So to your question regarding how, when it comes to leadership transition, moving from one or taking over from another person and working effectively, I always say that besides or yeah, besides the excitement that comes with assuming the leadership position, one thing that must stand out for everybody, that stand out for me, is the fact that I view leadership as not a position, but as an opportunity to make an impact. It is the difference you bring on board that makes you to be recognized as a leader. So the excitement that comes out, oh, I'm taking over this position as the leader, I'm the new leader. If it is underpinned by the mindset that you a call to duty, a call to make a difference, a call to impact, a call to identify talents, harness, identify challenges within a particular unit or a particular company, identify talents to address those challenges, and being able to harness all those challenges and harness the talents within or the technical know-how within the space and coordinate the affairs of all the team members to be able to make a change or surmount the challenges is what makes you a great leader. So, in every transition, I always say leaders must bear in mind that it's a call to duty, a call to serve, and a call to make an impact on people and also give opportunity to others to exhibit their talents towards the finding solutions to corporate issues or daily operational issues. So, in brief, that's what I would say.
Okay. So, what has been your biggest personal challenge? You faced during your major leadership shifts.
Okay, I will thank you. I will be quick to let me trace it from my background as a military person. Transitioning from military to civil or corporate environment itself poses a lot of challenges because the leadership, tenets are different, or the environment or the platforms are quite different. So let me quickly say that within the military, because quite a lot of things are regimented, documented, and they are well programmed, it comes across easily for people to accept the fact that it is more of a responsibility. But when it comes to the civil side of things or the corporate environment, where I realize that majority of the team members you meet view leadership as a position, as I am the all-knowing. So for that matter, I don't need to consult anybody. So when I came in and was trying to get everybody on board, it came as a surprise to quite a lot of people. I remember, at my initial experience has to do with getting to work, and then the security guy on duty was sent to go get some food for his staff. And I just called the HR and I asked, Madam, do you have an idea where the security guard is? And she openly and boldly said, "Oh, she's gone on his routine duties to buy food for staff." There, I realized there was a problem. So, how do you then engage? Because I was privileged to be taught emotional intelligence in the military, it came to me easy in handling such a situation. So, I quickly had to engage my emotional intelligence, uh, if you like, prowess. And I kept quiet for a while. And later on, I called her to my office and I asked, "Do you have an idea? How have you thought about while the guy is gone to get the food for you, somebody comes in, an authorized person comes into your office. Who are you going to blame? Then, all right. So I just wanted to ask you that question. Then subsequently, we she was now open for further discussion, and now we were able to streamline a lot of things, and things begin to change, and the way and manner they handle a lot of issues began changing. So again, I got excited that okay, having employed my emotional intelligence in there, I could have in a typical military manner, as seen by civil society, would have said, no, from today, don't do A, B, C, D. But that wouldn't have worked. So I quickly identified the challenge, employed the right skill, and addressed the issue. So that's just one instance. And then within the other areas that I have worked, you realize that a lot of people kept referring to their credentials when the right thing, when the actual job is not about credentials. Unfortunately, also taught me or brought to the fore that we appoint people into leadership positions by virtue of how long they've been around in the organization or within a very a particular department, not necessarily looking at their leadership skills. And so at this point, I was convinced that leadership skill development must be intentionally done by organizations, or individuals must take particular interest in intentionally developing leadership skills, because leadership comes with so many challenges. How you relate to people, how you are. My One of my friends always tell me that, look, before you can effectively lead people, you must first lead yourself. Do you even know yourself? Do you really understand your own self? If you cannot lead your own self, then you must understand that it will be difficult for you. So the challenges are there. But at this point, let me say that the fundamentals have to do with, yes, challenges everywhere you go, and its nuances or its challenges and all that. One will have to keep his or her eyes open to understand the environment, the culture within, and how can you navigate around those, the system in particular, so as to handle the challenges that come across very well. So
Yeah.
I'll pause here.
Sure, sure, sure. In fact, your answer is loaded, very loaded. Thank you so much. It's very true. So, emotional intelligence as a leader will help solve or will help the leader navigate several, because there are some things if you rush, you wouldn't get there, you wouldn't get the result. And sometimes too, if you are too calm, you won't get the result. So you have to use emotional intelligence to determine which one should I employ at that particular instance, so that at the end of the day, you'll be able to lead your team successfully. So thank you so much. And then we as managers or as corporate leaders or top management, especially HRs, we are supposed to be intentional about those we intend to be the leaders, and we start preparing them on time, giving them all the necessary trainings before the time is up, so that we don't just choose because this person has been here for long and all that, like you rightly said. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So please, Dr. Victor, when stepping into a new leadership role, how do you balance asserting your vision with respecting existing team dynamics and culture?
All right. Thank you once again. And I will trace it back to when I first got into corporate world. And I will be quick to say that every leader's duty, first and foremost duty, when you get into a space, is to get to appreciate the dynamics of the place, the culture, and then the individual team members, their their behavioral patterns, and all that, and then the work culture. When you get to appreciate this right from the the word go, you will now sit back, or you now have to sit back and map out exactly what will be the initial steps you need to take to see your, and then what kind of vision or what kind of strategic goals you need to set for yourself, and what do you want to achieve at the end of the day. Without understanding the dynamics of the environment you are in, you may be wrong, you may be using the wrong tool in fixing a problem, or fixing the wrong problem, if you like. So I will say, first of all, you need to understand the dynamics of the place, and then you engage. So you can only understand if you engage the team members, and you can also understand if you observe more. So you need to observe more, listen more, and talk less. Because more often than not, leaders are tempted to, draw conclusions based on their past experiences. Wherever you are coming from, the dynamics may be different. So you cannot view the current or the present location or environment through the same lens. You need to engage, allow people to speak more, allow yourself to observe more, and then you interact more. Through that, you get to understand all of this, so that it will inform, or these things will inform your next steps, your strategic move, your immediate strategic move you make. What are the things that need to be maintained? What are the things that require changes in order to achieve a certain strategic goal? Without those things, without listening, without engaging the team members, for all you know, the team members themselves are willing, or they are itching and hoping to effect certain changes, and they are looking forward to giving you that support to effect certain changes for them towards a positive end. When you listen and you engage them, you get to appreciate that, okay, probably what they will confirm some of the things that you are thinking, or some of your thoughts, or some of the experiences you've had elsewhere. They may confirm them for you, and you will realize that it will make your work very easier. I'll give you a typical example. I joined a company where I was told right from the word go, the MD of the company, then I was engaged as the site manager. And the MD clearly told me that over here, the union, very stubborn, very difficult to handle, and all that. And we needed to maintain a certain sanity, discipline on site. And they have tried several times and it never worked. So I told the MD, well, I will do what I know how to do best. I'll try my best and we'll see what happens. What happens was that I quickly got convinced that I was in an environment where the union might have taken an entrenched position on certain stance. So, what is it that accounted for that entrenched position? Could it be that they were not being engaged? They were not being told the end state? What is the company hoping to achieve by enforcing certain disciplinary measures and all that? So, I called a meeting. I called the leadership of the union to a meeting, and I told them that, you know what, you guys are the best organized people I have seen here ever since I got here. I've heard all the things about you, and I am impressed about all the things that you've been doing. But there's a job to be done. It is in our interest to keep this place, we change the atmosphere and do certain things. What are some of the things you think we need to change? And what are the things that you believe you can do to support in that regard? The first comment that came from the chairman of the union was that, thank you very much. You have started on a very good note. If you had not called us to this meeting, we would have made your work very difficult. But with this recognition of us as the union executive, consider what needs to be done, done. Then I said, how do you mean? I thank him and I asked him, how do you mean? I said, look, we know that on site, traders walk through, traders come and, people, vendors pass here, staff are buying, and all those things. And it's not just good. So, right from the word go, we are going to buy a padlock, we will lock the gates through which the traders come through the site, and we will inform our members that anybody who wants to go out and buy something, the traders will be behind the wall. And just the following day, that result was achieved. And the MD called me and asked, "How did you do this?" Then I told him that it's just about engaging people. And it was interesting. And so that alone confirmed again that when people are engaged, when people are given opportunity or that recognition, they are more than willing to support. But as leaders, I have also seen leaders who assume positions or leadership roles, and it's all about this is how things must be done, and this is I know that when you do it this way, it will work. So do it this way. Have you tried this before? If you have not, I have tried it before. So you cannot tell me it will not work. I know that it is one. And at the end of the day, you will not enlist the support of the team members. And it is not the case that, or it may not necessarily be the case that you are incompetent. It's just because you have failed to engage people. As human beings, we love recognition, we love engagement, we love to see our idea or ideas being implemented. So when you engage team members, they feel recognized and they feel that, okay, they are part of the process. More so when you explain to them what the end state is like. What are you aiming to achieve? And what benefit does that will that accrue to them? And how do they stand to does it stand to kind of polish up their image or promote their brand or promote their image? When they understand all this, you'll see that you have an easy way to go. So I will again pause here so that I don't just include everything in my delivery.
Wow, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Very interesting. So, my keywords there are engaging them and also making them feel recognized. So that will make them, own the process or whatever you ask them to do, and then they'll do it wholeheartedly. That is very, very true. Thank you so much. Thank you
Let
so
me
much.
be quick. Let me be quick to share this one before you
Okay,
ask your next question.
right.
In the this is because back from my background, we have what we call mission command concept of leadership, where you tell your team members what is to be done and why it got to be done. Then you leave the how for them to decipher. When you leave the how for them, more often than not, you receive a lot of innovative ideas or creative ideas from them, which probably you have not even thought of.
That's true.
So that has been, and then the other reason why you leave the how is to promote unity of effort, so that once they know that this is the end state, somebody, let's say we are going to Kumasi because we have to go and promote our brand. Now somebody may say that, okay, if we go by air, it may be cheaper, faster. Somebody will say no. If we go by road, the brand can be visible en route to Kumasi. It's all aimed at, they're all thinking along the same line. But if you don't tell them why they have to do what they want to do, or you are telling them to do, sometimes it becomes difficult for them to appreciate where you are going with them. So that is the concept that underpins my approach to leadership engagement or team engagement when it comes to, so it's called the mission command concept of leadership. Thank you.
Mission command concept of leadership. Wow, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. And then it really is true. Really, really is true. Thank you so much, Dr. Abbey. So, welcome back. So, continue by reading few of the comments from our viewers. Mr. Charles Tete said, "Emotional intelligence is the key word to effective leadership." Thank you, Mr. Charles. Mr. Edge said, I'm happy about how you practicalize EQ in your example, Doc. Thank you, Mr. H. The next is from Nana Asari. Engaging people without prejudice always bring about positive outcomes. That's very true, Nana. Thank you. Data link. Thank you, Doc. Emotional intelligence is very important. Yeah, thank you so much. Mr. Charles Tete said, engaging the organization leadership and knowing the problem before you can solve the problem as a leader. That is great, Doc. The next is In God We Trust. Says, "Hi everyone, watching from Maryland in the US of A." Mr. Andrew Kisi Ejay said, "I like the last point made by Dr. Kisi. We shouldn't always rush when giving leadership roles." Thank you all. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. So my next question goes to Dr. Victor Abbey. Now, please, what mindset or decision making shifts is most critical when moving from a tactical role into a strategic leadership role? Hello, I take it again. Hello. Okay. Okay. Whilst waiting for Doc's network to settle, our next comment is from Princess Inshira. Princess says, "Before you lead people, you must first lead yourself." Well said, Prof. Well said, Prof. Thank you so much, Princess Inshira. Okay. So, hello, Doc. My question to you is, um, how do you handle the pressure to perform immediately? You know, what mindset or decision making shift is most critical when moving from a tactical role to a strategic leadership role?
Happy, I guess the question is directed at me, right?
Yes, please. Yes, please.
Oh, okay. All
Yes,
right.
please.
So, indeed, before anyone will assume a role, you would have done some, I mean, there would have been some clearly spelled out, responsibilities or accountabilities why you are assuming that role. So, before you take it up, you have to sit back and do what are your strategic goals that you want to achieve? How are you delivering that responsibility? How do you hope to be accountable for the responsibilities given to you? And then what resources do you require? So if you are getting into that space, you would definitely know that you would have identified the stakeholders both internally and externally, quote unquote, in the sense that within the space where you are going to work, there will be directly direct stakeholders, as in the staff or the team members and all that. I call the external stakeholders as maybe the board members or the board, maybe external to you in a sense that they are not working with you day to day. So they have given you some direct deliverables, and you have to decipher what is available, what resources are available to you, both human and material. So, are there gaps? If there are gaps, how do you hope to fill those gaps? What are your priorities, initial priorities? And you would have spelled out clearly a plan to deliver that. And when you plan, you have your clearly documented plan, which is communicated to the stakeholders, both the board or the staff, that this is the plan to be rolled out. I want to believe that those who will somehow put the pressure on you to deliver would have been convinced that this is how you're going to approach the work. But if you are not able to spell out this clearly, it becomes you alone know what you are doing. Nobody knows. So, as we say in Ghana and Nigeria, say you go explain tire every
Yes.
day. They will be asking you, "What are you doing?" And you don't know what to say. And what you are saying is your word. Nobody knows what you are going next. So, if you document a plan and rightly communicated it or effectively communicate that to your stakeholders, it will be clear that as you move along, there may be the need to readjust the plan a bit or make some changes. Everybody knows why you are making those changes. But if you just everything is all in your head and you get up every day, you say, let's do this. Tomorrow, let's do that. The pressure will mount on you. And I always say that when you really document, you are fond of documenting your plan, you are guided. Pressure is off your head. And when the pressure is off your head, you have focus. You are able to deliver. And you're able to even monitor, track your own performance even before a pressure will come on you that you are not delivering. You would have been documenting progress, and for that matter, you will not be able, you may not experience much pressure because everybody is in the known. If that plan wouldn't work, or if people had doubts about that plan you are presenting, they would have asked you all the questions to clarify their confusion, and you would have justified why you think it's going to work. And you must be flexible in your mindset as well. Flexibility, agility is a hallmark of a leader, especially in the current global geopolitical space that we find ourselves in, where the rapidity of change, technological advancement is on the increase, and it is quite, it will be unreasonable on your part not to be flexible in your mindset. Let me also be quick to appreciate the fact that the resources you have, the human asset or the human capital, there are dynamics in there as well. So when you document what you have to implement or you have to achieve, it will aid you in appreciating the human capital you have. What are the different levels? You may have Gen Zs, you may have Gen X, you may have the millennials. How do you harness all these talents, within these generations to achieve your aim? So documentation is key. Communicating that plan to the stakeholders to appreciate, to understand, and know where you are going. Remember, I said in my own style, I believe that when people know where they are going, initiative, innovation will be brought on board, and you may get there even before the plan, the schedule time is due. So those are the key things that I will advise. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So, Dr. Harry, so looking back, what's one thing you wish you had known before taking on a leadership role that involved major transition? Dr. Abbey.
The latter part of the question, please.
Yes. I was asking, looking back, what's one thing you wish you had known before taking on a leadership role that involved major transition?
Okay. One key thing will be the realities of the state of affairs in terms of the actual problems on the within the space. Talk about the human factor, the performance issues, the 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 capital state of the institution, and how willing or the resources available to be able to deliver on whatever you are being asked to do or you are to implement. Because one, if more often than not, many organizations will not spell out clearly the realities you're going to face. They just look at your competence, your experience that you have, and you come in there. Sometimes it takes a longer time to execute your strategy because other factors come to the fore. Then you realize that no, you may think you can deliver this by maybe 6 months or 1 month, but you have to solve certain problems or
Yeah,
you have to address certain issues before you can even start or
yeah,
kickstart your plan. So
yeah,
if you had an idea about the actual culture, for example, joining a company, it's quite difficult to appreciate or to hear companies talk about they having a toxic culture within the company.
yeah,
Most people will not openly come out and say, in our company we have a toxic culture. You get in there and realize that the toxicity level is so high that it has even engulfed the leadership themselves. And you
yeah,
need to work on the mindset of leaders within the space before you can even think about going down there. Because if they are not having the right mindset, how do you get the rest of the team on board? So these are some of the things you wish, or personally, I wish I would get to appreciate right before even getting into that space. So if I get to know that the toxicity level is so high among leadership, I will want to engage first. So my plan will be one of the things that my plan will contain the action to engage leaders, to change that culture, to change the attitude, the behavior towards their team members. Because you can come up with nice ideas, but
Yeah.
your fellow leaders within the company can undermine everything, and they will be pointing fingers at you that you are a loner, and the
Yeah.
rest of the people don't. You are a joker. You don't know what you're talking about.
That's
You,
right.
you have a meeting. There are companies that you go into a meeting, they have discussions as an expo. Everybody contributes, counter contributions, just to make a, for a rich discussion. But immediately they leave the meeting, every information that was discussed there is out.
It's
That this
leaked.
guy said this. This guy said, "Oh, he thinks he knows more than me." Information that is not supposed to even be known to the team member. Such
Yeah.
people will throw all those things out. All in my experience, I realized that most people are not giving them the opportunity to appreciate the rudiments of leadership before they get into it.
Mm,
So
mm,
you have a certain mindset
mm,
from where they are coming from. That as for me, somebody, I would say the way it is, but there are
mm,
certain behaviors.
mm,
So that some of the things they help a great deal. If I know the culture of the culture, the people in there, it will be more helpful.
yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah. That's very, very, very good. I've also experienced what you are talking about, you know, in some companies that I've worked with before. It's very true. In fact, we are all learning a lot from this conversation we are having. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Before I go to my next question, I want to read some of the comments from our viewers. Um, in God we trust. No. Um, okay. Nana Sari says, engaging people without prejudice always brings about positive outcomes. Okay. And data link. Thank you, Doctor. Emotional intelligence is very important. Charles Tete says, engaging the organization leadership and knowing the problem before you can solve the problem as a leader. That's great, Doctor. In God we trust. Okay, I've read that one. Then Dr. Mr. Andrew Kisieje, I like the last point made by Dr. Kisi. We shouldn't always rush when giving leadership roles. Thank you. Mr. Sarkodie Apiayao says, I would like Dr. Kisi to address potential biases that may arise in the selection of your team members. Looking at the time, I wonder if he can, but he can do that whilst we've already closed. Princess Inshra says, before you lead people, you must first lead yourself. Well said, Prof. Eric Duke Morrison, if you are not led, you cannot lead. Wow, that's true. Thank you. Mr. John Mensah says, good evening. Princess says, I'm learning a lot about the emotional intelligence. Thank you, Princess. In God we trust, the documentation and communication to stakeholders is the key. Well said, Dr. Abbey. Thank you, in God we trust. Eric Duke Morrison says, having the right mindset executes the transition with ease. Yeah, that's true. Thank you, Eric. In God we trust says, I'm learning a lot. Thank you, Dr. Abbey. Yeah. Okay. I think Dr. Kisi's network is not um is not on. So I'll ask Dr. Victor Abbey. Hello, Doc. Uh-huh. Okay. Doc, please. Okay. Doc, please. I was asking, what advice would you give to emerging leaders who may soon find themselves navigating big transitions or inheriting complex leadership challenges?
Thank you. It's unfortunate my counterpart's network is giving him a lot of
Yeah,
issues. Let me be
yeah.
quick to say it boils down to a couple of things. The first one is keeping an open mindset.
Mhm,
You must keep an open mindset in order to appreciate the key or the critical issues that to fix when you take over. You do not have to have a fixed mindset, knowing or believing that this is the solution to the problem. If you have an open mindset, when you get in there, certain things will become more open and more comprehensible to you rather than just concluding before you get in there. Number two will be engagement. You need to engage people. You need to engage regardless of their status, you need to engage across board. Cross collaboration is key to your success. So when you are not willing and ready to work with, um, diverse people, diversity is the fruit of success, as I always say. So you need to appreciate that collaboration across is the key. You don't know it all. In our current environment that we find ourselves in, the experience and knowledge is rendered so obsolete in no time. What you know yesterday is rendered so obsolete by events happening elsewhere. So much so that that information is available to people. You may want to go in there and apply it only for you to realize that no, times have changed. And when it backfires, it will kind of impact on your competence. So you need to have an open mind where you need to even tap from people. And so open mindset, engagement, and then documentation, critical analysis of the issues. You need to scrutinize, you need to do some thorough analysis. I in my in my current practice, I always advise leaders to use the tool called SOAR, that's SOAR, instead of the SWOT analysis that we are all used to. The current use of the SOAR analysis helps a lot to bring out even your own. So the SOAR, the S is the strength, the O is the opportunity, the A is the aspirations, and then the R is the result. Because when you use the SWOT, you are more often than not inundated by the threats that you see around you. But when you focus on the strength and opportunities, you are able to come out with emphasis on the kind of results you want to achieve, the aspiration you aspire to take advantage of those opportunities. So if you use the SWOT analysis, it gives you a better approach to understanding the where you want to go, what are the issues, and what you want to do about what you want to execute about those, or how you want to solve those problems. So stakeholder engagement is key, open mindset is key, critical analysis, and then coming out with a documented plan, which you must be flexible to adjust or adapt as and when things become more clearer to you. Because rigidity is an enemy of progress. So that is those, for want of a time, that's what I would say. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. In fact, all too soon, we have come to the end of our program. What you said right now is very, very, very important. Like, as a new leader or an emerging leader, in fact, if you are a middle level management person or employee and you transitioning to top level management, if you are top level management transitioning to maybe CEO level, from CEO level probably you are going to the board level. So whatever level you find yourself going to the next level, you still need all these points to be able to be successful. So the key things that you need to go away with is, before you can be successful, is to join with an open mindset, like Dr. Vito Abbey said, engaging your new team members, knowing that working cross collaboration, that's what is going to help you to succeed. documenting all your plans so that you work towards achieving them, analyzing your issues really well, critically, to know the next move that you have to do. And instead of working with SWOT analysis, as we all do, he's coming up with SOAR: strengths, opportunities, aspirations, and results. I've learned so much from our two resource persons, and I'm sure you have also learned a lot. Before we go, I would like to read the last few comments. One from one from In God We Trust. He said, I'm learning a lot. Thank you, Dr. Abbey. And then In God We Trust, he says, all open mindset is very relevant to great leadership. Thank you, Dr. Abbey. So, on that note, I want to say a very big thank you to our two wonderful resource person, Dr. Victor Abe. Thank you so much. But we can't thank you enough. Thank you so, so much. And remember, Oliver Twist as will certainly be asking for more. And then Dr. Jonathan Kisi, thank you so much for also making time out of your busy schedule. Just the internet was not helpful very much at your side, but the time that you spent with us is also very valued. We really appreciate it, and all that you taught us to. We thank you very, very much. So, to our viewers, thank you so much for making time to be on our show and learning and also commenting. We want you to know that next month by this time we will still come to you with another very interesting topic to build your capacities. Thank you. Thank you. Bye bye.